evening on Up South, all the news and updates on the Jayalalitha verdict with my colleagues Rohini Swamy from Chennai, Shisha Reddy also joining me from Chennai and Pratibha Raman from Bangalore. We start Up South with some exclusive details that we have got on the judgment copy of the special court in Bangalore that delivered the sensational verdict in the Jayalalitha case on Saturday. In fact, in that 896-page verdict, Justice John Michael Decona using very strong language, and he said that the only source for the acquisition of the disproportionate wealth is former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J.Jayalalitha, and the other three accused were only laundering her ill-gotten wealth. He goes on to say that Shashikala is an agent of Jayalalitha and all income tax filings were false and bogus. And this is the crucial part. He says statements of Jayaraman and Ramavijayan, who worked at Poise Garden, were crucial to the case because all the money was handed over to them for depositing in different companies by Shashikala personally at Poise Garden. And all the payslips have their signature. No shred of evidence to prove the Namada MGR deposit scheme. And court asked Shashikala why she was staying with Jayalalitha if she claimed that there was no connection between the two. In fact, during the course of the trial, the former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha answered over 1,300 questions. But clearly the judge was not really happy with the contents of those replies. What does the judgment actually say? Here is a report. These are the operative portions of the judgment delivered by Justice John Michael Decona in the special court in Bangalore on the 27th of September. In this he writes that the prosecution has proved beyond reasonable doubt that Jayalalitha, the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and the accused number one in the disproportionate assets case, acquired immovable properties worth 53 crore rupees for which she could not satisfactorily explain. The judge agrees that 9 crore 91 lakh rupees was income that the four accused could explain. It also notes that Jayalalitha and the other three accused were parties to criminal conspiracy with the objective of acquiring and possessing pecuniary resources. The judgment also says that if Jayalalitha fails to pay the fine amount of 100 crore rupees, she shall undergo further imprisonment for 1 year. And that is going to be the biggest challenge for Jayalalitha, because in the 2011 election affidavit before the assembly elections, she had listed movable assets worth 13 crore rupees and immovable assets worth 38 crore rupees. But that include the Kodana tea estate near Ooty. Now, the tea garden has been declared an illegal asset and attached by the court. One legal opinion says that Jayalalitha will have to cough up at least a part of the fine amount before she can secure bail. Now, that's not something the AIDMK legal camp agrees with and say they will not pay a penny more than the bail surety amount that they will have to cough up. In 1996-97, when Jayalalitha was facing corruption charges and her bank accounts were frozen, she had taken a loan of 10 lakh rupees from the AIDMK party, which she subsequently repaid. With a huge cadre, raising 100 crore rupees will not be such a huge challenge, and that she could actually take a loan from the same party. Meanwhile, there was disappointment for Jayalalitha at the Karnataka High Court as well, because her lawyers led by Ram Jethmalani failed to secure bail for her at the High Court, which posted for hearing on the 7th of October. Pratibha Raman and Ratika Sharma bring us this report on the drama that unfolded at the High Court.
On special request, a special hearing was constituted at the Karnataka High Court in the very last minute, and hopes were soaring high with AIADMK camp walking in through the court gates thinking they would walk out with the bail orders for their party supremo. Their hopes did not last long.
The Honorable Judge has adjourned proceedings to after vacation because this is not a matter to be dealt during vacation. Within a short time, the court adjourned and raised. In spite of our attempt to request her, no occasion was given to submit by ourselves. Suddenly, court has raised.
Their agony turned into aggression as some of the Tamil Nadu lawyers staged a protest outside the court before the police intervened.
Another disappointing day for Jayalalitha's advocates, who even contemplated filing another memo with the registrar to change the judge as well as hear the case today. But after senior counsel Ram Jethmalani advised them against such a step that could be interpreted as rash by the court, the AIADMK camp has no choice but to wait until October 7th. The legal team is also aware that the party supremo wouldn't be too impressed with the inability to secure bail for her.
Luck hasn't been on Jaya's side, claim some in the legal fraternity.
In fact, in many cases, it is prosecution doesn't oppose. Even in this case, I do not know why the public prosecutor thought it fit to file an objection and all that. Otherwise, as public prosecutor, in many cases we have said when appeal is filed as a matter of course, we don't object to the suspension of the sentence.
As the advocates are busy strategizing to build a strong case, and already Ms. Jaya will now have to spend 5 more days inside jail. With Rohini Swami and Pratibha Raman in Bangalore and Srisha Reddy in Chennai, Bureau Report Headlines Today.
Let's now go across to Rohini Swami, who joins us from Chennai. Rohini, it's pretty bizarre that the Defence Council actually puts the breakdown of law and order as an excuse to secure bail for the former Chief Minister. Isn't it a little strange because there's an AIADMK government in the place? It obviously reflects poorly on their own governance and the lack of police system.
But what we should also understand is the fact that there's immense amount of pressure on this particular case. Immense amount of pressure, one, on the judicial system, second also on the party itself. In the judicial system, and that's why we've seen how Ram Jethmalani did go and meet the Chief Justice of Karnataka, asking for a special sitting, especially to hear her bail plea. Well, that was granted on the basis that there could be a law and order problem in Tamil Nadu. But let me also bring this point across clearly, that though that has been cited as a reason, Tamil Nadu, by far, if you see people in Tamil Nadu, have accepted the fact that she could not be here, she would not be behind bars for a long haul, but there has not been major law and order problems in the state. The law and order has been pretty much under control. On the other hand, so that kind of argument that has been put forth is now seen to be null and void. Another point is also the pressure that is being put on the party itself. The cadres themselves are not being able to understand and at least take in the fact that Jayalalitha Amma is behind bars. So they want her out as soon as possible because they feel at this point of time it's a party, it's a government without a head. And they would want to, as we see how even the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, who is presently Pani Selvam also, is trying to meet with her. Anything that happens only happens with her signal. So the point is very clear here. There's immense amount of pressure, and that is why we're seeing this kind of things happening. But the case has been adjourned to Tuesday.
Right. Rohini, you mentioned about the AIADMK cadre. Of course, they have been mounting an offensive, very, very personal offensive against the judge, John Michael Dekuna. In fact, today they raised slogans against the special court judge, even put up banners. And the Vellore Municipal Corporation has in fact gone a step ahead. They have passed a resolution criticizing the judge. In fact, the resolution says that we condemn Judge Kuna, Karunanidhi and Subramania Swami, which has foisted false cases against our revolutionary leader, quote unquote, and we vow not to accept the order and we will ensure that Amma gets back her chair. In fact, Srisha Reddy has this report.
AIADMK men continue to stage protest, hunger strike in Chennai and in different parts of Tamil Nadu, demanding the release of the former Chief Minister of the state, J.Jayalalitha, who is convicted of corruption and is lodged in the Bangalore prison. Tensions prevailed when the case was adjourned in the Bangalore court today. On the other hand, fishermen have boycotted fishing, and Tamil film industry have come in support of Jayalalitha, and people from different walks of life, including the ID professionals, students, are staging a protest demanding the release of the AIADMK Supremo Jayalalitha. On the other hand, the opposition parties have questioned the assault on the judiciary and have been saying that this is setting a bad precedent in the state, and these incidents and protests should stop. With camera person Daniel Srisha Reddy in Chennai for Headlines Today.
Srisha, obviously the AIADMK cadre reacting very predictably there, but how is the common man, the common voter really reacting to this arrest of their former Chief Minister and whatever the events that have been unfolding in the court?
Well, that's right, Sudhir. Let me just put across the same question to a student who's been joined by me, Priyadarshini. She's an engineering student. Priyadarshini, how do you see all this protest happening in Tamil Nadu for the past 5 days? Do you think this is setting a bad precedent, or what kind of message is it sending?
I think the protests, of course, have been have been a nuisance to the general public. All these people beating up stores and burning buses and all of that, and unnecessary burning of these refugees. But I also see this as, I feel personally very dejected. I really wish the verdict had come out a little earlier or a little later, because I feel the current term of the CM Jayalalitha, the ex-CM Jayalalitha, has been a progressive one. It's taken the state to a much better level than what was before. And
let me also put this question to you. How do you see the Vellore Municipal Corporation sending out or passing a resolution on this ground, criticizing the judge and the judgment?
On a very personal level, I feel the verdict has been pretty inspiring, and I don't see why the Vellore Municipal Corporation should pose a question against it or criticize it so much, because I think that, by the end of the day, corruption is corruption, and the right judgment was required, and I think things have been just. It's just that the state is going through a lot of unrest at the moment. I wish the verdict had come out some other time ago.
That's right. So this is the common man sentiment on ground. Is corruption is a corruption, but the time of judgment is questionable. Back to you, Sudhir.
Right. But Shrisha, briefly, is there a sense of fear, apprehension? People may not really want to comment on the verdict. Is that sense of apprehension also there among many citizens of Chennai and Tamil Nadu?
Very true, Sudhir, because as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, we do know that from the top bosses, or be it the bureaucrats, or be it the politicians themselves, they don't speak to the media, and they don't even voice their opinion. There are very few people who actually come out and speak. Of course, they live in a sense of fear, and at this point in time, when Jayalalitha is behind bars, anything against her will actually turn things wary. Because today also, when there was a person who was questioning at the protest side that why do you have to protest, because it's just she's behind bars because she was convicted of corruption, and of course the ADMK partymen trashed him, and police had to come out, and then they have to solve the issue. So this is the sense that's on ground. Anybody for a matter, they are in a fearful state that they don't want to speak anything against the former Chief Minister. Back to you, Sudhir.
Right. Thanks a lot, Shrisha Reddy, for joining us there from Chennai. Now, Harish Bijur, brand consultant, joins us now from Bangalore for a perspective on how brand Tamil Nadu is being affected. But before that, Harish, I want to ask you, the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, that is O. Pannirselvam, travels not to his state secretariat in Chennai, but to the Bangalore Central Prison every second day. Now, what's the message that will go out to the world at large, especially the investor community, on this kind of act by the new Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu?
Well, the message is a simple one at this point of time. There is a crisis in Tamil Nadu, and at this given point of time, the capital of Tamil Nadu has shifted from Chennai to Bangalore for a brief period of time. In terms of messaging, I think, to the investor community, I think they're watching and they're sitting on the fence and trying to see what's happening. So there's a fair degree of confusion.
Right. Harish, brand Tamil Nadu is a brand which has been built on long years of industrialization and growth. Do you see a dilution in brand Tamil Nadu because of top leaders of the two main principal parties in Tamil Nadu, the DMK and the ADMK, now embroiled and accused of big ticket corruption?
Water finds its own level. And to that extent, corruption has also found its own level. So if you really look at Tamil Nadu politics, no party is above it all. And therefore, from an investor's point of view, one looks at Tamil Nadu and says that, possibly, this seems to be the operating environment. But if somebody is looking for cleaner politics, and if somebody is looking for a newer way of looking at it, possibly Telangana is going to gain, possibly Andhra is going to gain.
Right. Harish Bijur, thanks a lot for joining us there with that perspective from Bangalore on what could happen to brand Tamil Nadu. Pratibha, you have been reporting from the Karnataka High Court all day, where the bail petition was put off to Tuesday, much to the disappointment of all the lawyers from the AIDMK camp. But what exactly is happening behind bars at the Parapanagrahara, where the former Chief Minister is lodged? Has she been meeting people? Because yesterday she had refused to meet the current Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Pannirselvam, who had come to meet her.
Well, Sudhir, a second day at court that has been met with disappointment as far as her bail plea is concerned. It is but natural for Jayalalitha to be really miffed as well as enveloped in a state of frustration. So that is the kind of message that she's been putting out, showing her frustration by not meeting any of them, not even the MPs or the MLAs. In fact, it all started with Mr. Panneerselvam having travelled from Chennai to Bangalore, and right since that day, she hasn't been in the mood to meet any of them. Even today, in fact, some of the advocates wanted to go meet her, but then they were met with refusal, and that is the state of affairs. But as far as her health condition is concerned, she has been pretty stable, but then she has been quite aloof in a sense that she's been only to herself, closely monitoring all the developments as far as the swearing-in ceremony or be it the proceedings as far as her bail plea is concerned. But all the while she's been ruing over the fact that she's been met with a lot of bad luck, especially as far as her bail plea is concerned.
A quick word with Rohini Swami before we end the show. Rohini, the entire country talks about Achhe Din Aane Wale Hain. Does Tamil Nadu see light at the end of the tunnel after this Jayalalitha verdict?
Well, they do, for the simple reason they do feel that Jayalalitha will come out of jail, and at the end of the day, it's her welfare schemes that will make a mark, because they said the last few welfare schemes that she's brought out has had to connect with people. So definitely Tamil Nadu is looking for Achhe Din here in the state.
Right, Rohini, thanks a lot for joining us with all that perspective from Chennai. That's all on Up South this evening. News and updates will continue on Headlines Today.